Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the stream. So today we'll be doing a quiz session. You can write your answers in the chat, and then if your answer is correct, your name will be on the leaderboard depending on how many answers you provided. So this is the first question. So the question is that a pair of numbers x and y satisfy the equation xy is equal to 45 and x plus y is 30. So find the values of x and y. So again, for the new viewers, let me read the question again. You can give your answers in the chat, and if the answer is correct, then uh, your name will be featured in the leaderboard. The question is that a pair of numbers x and y satisfy the equations xy is equal to 45 and x plus y is equal to 30. So find the values of x and y. We'll wait for 5 minutes, and then if there are no answers, we'll then move ahead to the next question. And we'll feature some AMC type questions from SAT, etc. So since there are no attempts for the question, let us solve the question and get the correct answers. Let me share the answers. Okay, so we are given that there are two numbers x and y, and their product is equal to 45. Let me see that. Okay, and the sum of the numbers is 30. So let us write that down. X plus y is 30. So we can solve these system of equations by substituting. So we can substitute y is equal to 30 minus x in the first equation. So this will be y is equal to 30 minus x. So this will become xy is equal to 45, and in place of y we can write 30 minus x. 30 minus x is equal to 45. So this will become 30x minus x square is equal to 45. So if we take them to the right hand side, all the terms on one side, then it will become x square minus 30x plus 45 will be 0, equal to 0. So now we have this equation. So then what you can do is we can apply the uh, quadratic formula and we can find the solutions for x. So we can do this: x is equal to minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac. So b is minus 30, so minus b will be 30. 30 plus minus root over of b square will be 30 squares minus 30 squares, that will be 900, minus 4ac. So 4 into 45 into 1, that will be 180, divided by 2, 2a, so that will be 2 into 1, that is 2. So this will become 30 plus minus this will be 900 minus 80, 180, that will be 720. So 720, if you take the root of 720, that should be 720 can be rewritten as 2, we can write it as 144 into 12. Okay, so we can write it as 12 root 5. So this is the form it is in. So 720, because it is basically 144 multiplied by 5, and 144's root is 12 and 5's root is root 5. So 12 root 5 is the simpler form, divided by 2. So x becomes um, if you divide by 2, it will become 15 plus minus 6 root 5. 6 root sorry, this will be 5. Let me rewrite. So this will be 6 root 5. Yeah, so this is the answer. And if x is 15 plus 6 root 5, then y will be 15 minus 6 root 5. We can get that by subtracting from 30. So the solutions are 15 plus 6 root 5, and y will be 15 minus 6 root 5, or it can be if we reverse it, so x will be 15 minus 6 root 5 in that case, and y will be 15 plus 6. These are the two solutions. So you can have a look at the solution once again. So this was, we started with these two equations and then we substituted the value of y here, and this became a quadratic, and we used the quadratic formula to get the two solutions and similarly two values for y. So this is the pair of solution. Now let us go to the next question. So we have a few questions from AMC. Okay, so these are the questions. Let me read the first question, and then if you try to solve the question, and if you get the answer, then you can write it in the chat. If the answer is correct, then your name can be on the leaderboard. So the question is that Luca is making lemonade to sell at a school fundraiser. His recipe requires 4 times as much water as sugar and twice as much sugar as lemon juice. So he uses 3 cups of lemon juice. So how many cups of water does he need? And the options are option A 6, option B 8, option C 12, option D 18, and option E is 24. So these are all the options, and then you can choose any one of them if you get the answer, and then you can comment it in the chat. So we'll wait for some time for people to give their answers. If there are no answers, then we'll skip to the next question after solving. Okay, so let us solve the question. Uh, okay, so the question is that Luca is making lemonade to sell at a school fundraiser, and we have three items: water, sugar, and lemon juice, and they have different quantities. So it is written that his recipe requires 4 times as much water as sugar, and sugar requires twice as much as lemon juice. So lemon juice, it is given that it requires 3 cups of lemon juice. So it is 3 cups, and the amount of sugar is required is twice that amount of the lemon juice. So sugar should be double of the amount of lemon juice. That should be 2 into 3, that is 6 cups. And then the amount of water he needs is 4 times that of sugar. So for water it would be 4 multiplied by the amount of sugar, which is 6 cups. So 4 into 6 cups, that will be 24 cups. Okay, so 24 cups of water is required. So that means that option E is the correct answer. So since we have no answers as of now, so we'll move to the next question. So let me read the question once. The question is that um, 4 friends do yard work for their neighbors over the weekend, earning $15, $20, $25, and $40 respectively. They decide to split their earnings equally among themselves. So, in total, how much will the friend who earned $40 give to the others? So, there are 4 friends who are earning these respective amounts for some work, so which is 15, 20, 25, and $40 respectively, and they split their earnings among themselves. So they divide the earnings among them equally. So how much will the friend who earned $40 give to the others for splitting? And the options are A, $5, B, $10, C, $15, D, 20, and E, $25. So if you get the answer, you can comment it in the chat, and if that is correct, you can feature your name in the leaderboard. Okay, so we have one answer, that is C, from MR XO2LM. So we'll wait for a bit for any other answers, and then I'll tell if that is the correct one. So we'll wait for 2 more minutes. Anyone, if anyone wants to put their answer in the chat, they can do so. And then we'll reveal the answer and do the solution. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So now, since there are no more answers, so we'll reveal the answer. So the correct option is C, $15. So MRX2LM, that is the correct answer. So your name goes on the leaderboard. Congratulations. Let me put your name on the leaderboard. So this is the current leaderboard. You can have a look. So we have one correct answer from MRX2LM. And then we'll move on to the next question after doing the solution, and then rest of the people, they can also get the name of the leaderboard by typing the correct answers. Okay, so let us do the solution of this and find out why C is the correct answer. So we are given that the earnings of the four friends are as follows. We have $10, $15, $20, 25, and $40. 15, 20, 25, and 40. So the total earnings would be the sum of all the earnings, that would be 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 40, which is $100. So that means that if they split it equally among themselves, each of them will get 100 by 4, that is $25. So if they each of them gets $25, and the one who has received $40 will also have 25, so he will have to give 15 back to everyone. So 40 minus 25, that is 15. So he will be giving 15 to his other friends, $15. So that means that 15 is the correct answer. That is option C. So C is the correct answer. Now let us go to the next question. So the next question is, Carrie has a rectangular garden that measures 6 feet by 8 feet. So that is the dimension of the garden. She plants the entire garden with strawberry plants fitting 4 plants per square foot and harvests an average of 10 strawberries per plant. How many strawberries can she expect to harvest? So we are given a field or a garden which is of 6 feet by 8 feet, and strawberries are being grown here, and 4 plants fit in 1 square foot, and each plant harvests an average of 10 strawberries. So by calculating the area, can you tell which how many strawberries can she expect to harvest? And the options that are given are option A 560, option B 960, option C 1120, option D 1920, and option E 3840. So comment the correct option, or comment the option that you think is the right answer, and then we'll see which one is correct. So we'll wait for 5 minutes for people to write their answers, then we'll see the solution. Okay, so let us do the answer for this question. Okay, so we have been given that the garden is of 6 feet by 8 feet, so those are the dimensions. So the area will be 6 into 8 square feet, that is 48 square feet. And it is written that per square feet you can fit 4 plants in total. So 1 square feet you can fit 4 plants in total. Then 48 square feet will have 48 into 4 plants. And 48 into 4, that will be 192. These many plants you can fit, and then one plant harvests an average of 10 strawberries. Then 192 plants will harvest 192 multiplied by 10, that is 1920 strawberries. This is the correct answer. This will be the total number of strawberries that will be harvested. So that means the correct answer will be option D, 1920. So hope that is clear, and you can see the solution for a bit, and then we'll move on to the next question. So let us go to the next one. This is the question number 4, and let me read the question once, then you can solve it and then put your answers in the chat. So three hexagons of increasing size are made of dots arranged in bands, each successive hexagon adding one more band of dots. So first we have one dot, then we have 7 dots, and then we have 19 dots. And each successive hexagon adds one more band of dots. So that is the way it is going. So and then every time the size is increasing. So following this pattern, how many dots are in the next hexagon? So we have to say how many dots will be there in the next hexagon. And the options you are given are 35, 37, 39, 43, and 49. So follow the pattern of the dots and then you can figure out how many dots will be there in the next hexagon. So the name is added in the leaderboard. So this is the correct answer. So we had two kinds of patterns here. One is the pattern where you add add the numbers in the series and find out the difference between them. So the differences were every time it was increasing by 6, so 6, 12, 18. And in the next one we counted the number of dots in each row, and it turned out the first one had a single dot in a row, then the next one had two dots in the first row, then three, then two, and the third hexagon had 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. This was the pattern. The next one should be 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 6, 5, 4. So that gave us 37. So there are two methods, and then we got 37. 37 is the correct answer, and here is the leaderboard. So now let us move on to the next question. So let me read the question. So the question is that 3/4 of a pitcher is filled with pineapple juice. The pitcher is emptied by pouring an equal amount of juice into each of 5 cups. So what percent of the total capacity of the pitcher did each cup receive? The options are option A 5, option B 10, option C 15, option D 20, and option E 25. So you can comment your answer in the chat. So we have one answer, that is 15. So we'll check if that is the correct one. If anyone else wants to write their answer, they can comment it in the chat. So thank you for the explanation, John. So C is the correct answer. So we'll do the solution and see for everyone else how that is the correct one. So that is the correct explanation, that it is 75% full. So if you divide it by 5, that is each of the cups get 1/5 of the amount, then you will have 15%. So that is the correct one. So let me get your name on the leaderboard. Okay, now we'll do the solution, and for everyone else we'll do the solution and see how the answer is 15. So let me write that down. So we have 3/4 of a pitcher that is occupied with juice. So 3/4 of the pitcher is full, and then that is divided into 5 cups. So then each cup will get 3/4 divided by 5. This is the amount of the capacity of the capacity of the pitcher that each cup gets. So then that means it will be 3 by 20. So this is the the fractional amount of the pitcher that each cup gets of juice. So if 3 by 20 is the correct answer, so if we convert it into percentage, so we can multiply 100% and that will give us 15%. So 15% is the correct answer. So it is a correct answer. Yeah, you are correct, John. So 15 is the correct answer, and that means that option C is correct. So for everyone else, yeah, you can see that option C is the correct answer. And here is the solution once again. You can have a look at the solution. Yeah, 3 by 4, and then you can also convert 3 by 4 to percentage first by writing it as 75% and then divide by 5, whichever way is easier. So 75 by 5, that will be 15. So 15 will be the final answer, 15%. So now let us go to the next question. So the next question is, we have some names. So Aaron, Darren, Karen, Maren and Sharon rode a small train with 5 one-seat cars So there was this train with five one-seat cars. Marin sat in the last car, so everyone has a car and it is of one seat only. And Marin sat in the last car. Aaron sat directly behind Sharon. Darren sat in front, in one of the cars in front of Aaron. At least one person sat between Karen and Darren, who sat in the middle car. So it is a very confusing word problem, and it is basically finding the sequence of cars that these five people are driving, and we're given some info about it, but we have to find that who sat in the middle car. So if there are five cars, the third one should be the middle. So we have to find who is in the middle car. So try to build the logic and then try to arrange the cars in the order in which you think they are by reading the information that is given. And the options are the five people. So Aaron, option B Darren, option C Karen, option D Marin, and option E Sam. So this seems like a confusing question, but if you try it out, then comment your answer in the chat, and if that is correct, then we'll put your name on the leaderboard. Yeah, that is the percentage of the full container, because the container that is the picture is 75% full. So if you divide that 75% by 5, you'll get 15% each in the cups. So that is the correct answer. That is the percentage of the full container. So initially the juice that is in the container is 75% of the full container, because it is 3/4, and then you divide it by 5 equally among the 5 cups, then each cup will get 15% of the full container's capacity. So that is correct. So anyone who joins now can you can attempt this current question, and then you can comment your answers in the chat. Okay, so we'll wait for 2 or 3 minutes more, and then if anybody answers, then we'll see if that is correct or not. But then we'll do the solution of the question. So for anyone new who joins, this is a question where we have five people: Aaron, Darren, Karen, Marin, and Sharon. So there are five cars which are arranged in a line in a train, and then there are some information. There are some data points given, like Marin sat in the last car, Aaron sat directly behind Sharon. Darren sat in one of the cars in front of Aaron. At least one person sat between Karen and Darren. So who sat in the middle car? That is the question. Okay, so we have one attempt, that is Sharon. We'll see if that is the correct one. So if anybody else wants to put their answer, they can put it in the chat. You can pick one answer. So if your latest answer is C, then okay, we'll consider C as your answer. That is Karen. Okay, let us solve the problem and then we'll see which one is correct. So let us represent all of their cards using the initial letters of their name. So we have Aaron, A, and then we have uh, Darren, D, and then Karen, which is K, and then we have Marin, which is M, and Sharon, which is S. So we have 5 cars and we have 5 slots, so they are all arranged in a linear order. So suppose we have these 5 slots, there are 5 slots. Now what you have to find is the order in which they are, who sat in the middle car. So Marin sat in the last car, so that is given. So Marin is in the last car. So this is first to last, so this goes in this direction. So the first car, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So Marin is in the last car, so that means it is the fifth car. Then we have the second information, which is Aaron sat directly behind Sharon. So Aaron is behind Sharon, so we have S and we have A in this order consecutively, but we don't know exactly where they fit in. They could be here, third and fourth, second and third, or first and second. There are three options. All of them can be possible. So let us see next what we are given. So Darren sat in one of the cars in front of Aaron. So Darren is also in front of Aaron. Remember that Sharon is directly in front of Aaron and Darren is also in front of Aaron. So this can be possible. Suppose if they are third and fourth, then Darren can be second or first. If they're second and third, then Darren can be first. But if they're first and second, then Darren can't be in front because then Sharon is in front. So they can either be second, third, or third and fourth. Then at least one person sat between Karen and Darren. So we have Darren and then at least one gap and then Karen. So this is how it is. So then if we see if as per the possibilities, let us see if Sharon and Aaron are third and fourth, then what happens. So suppose Sharon and Aaron are third and fourth. This is S and this is A. So Darren can be either first or second, and suppose Darren is first, then Karen, the remaining one is Karen, which goes in the second one, but that is not correct because Darren and Karen have at least one gap between them or one person between them. That is not correct. And again, if Darren is second, then Karen is again first, and then again there is no person between them. So this is not possible. Then third and fourth is not possible. So second and third, let us see what happens there. We have Marin in the last one. And then second and third, if Sharon and Aaron are second and third, Sharon is second and Aaron is third. In that case, Darren can be either first or fourth. But it is written that Darren is in the cars in front of Aaron. So Darren can be only first by using that information. That means the remaining one is Karen. And the last info that is given is also true, that at least one person sat between Karen and Darren. So Darren is here, Karen is here, so there are two people. So at least one person is there, so that means that is holding here. So all the facts are holding. Darren is in the last one. Sharon and Aaron are Sharon is in the car just in front of Aaron, so that is also true. Second and third. Darren is in front of Aaron, that is also true. And Darren and Karen, there is at least one person between them, so that is also true. So this is the correct order. And who sat in the middle car? So the middle car is the third one, so that means this is Aaron. So Aaron is the correct answer. So that means the option A, Aaron, is the correct answer. So unfortunately the answers given, they are not correct. So we had C as the answer and we had Darren as the answer. So Karen, Darren, and also Sharon. So those are not correct. Aaron is the correct answer. Aaron is the middle car. And the order by which you can see in the solution is that Darren, then Sharon, then Aaron, then Karen, and then Maren. So this is the correct order as per the given information. So you can have a look at the solution here, and then we'll move to the next one. Okay, so let us move to the next question. So here the next question is that how many integers between 2020 and 2400 have four distinct digits arranged in increasing order. For example, 2347 is one such integer. So there should be an increasing order and the four digits should be distinct. So how many integers are there between 2020 and 2400? And the options are A 9, B option 10, the number is 10, C 15, D 21, and E 28. So you have to find how many numbers can be there with this restriction, that the digits should be distinct and the order in which they are arranged should be increased, and the two numbers should be between 2020 and 2400. You can comment your answers in the chat. Okay, so let us do the solution of this question. It is a tricky question, so let us solve it. So we are given two integers 2020, that is 2020, and 2400. So all the numbers lie between these two numbers, and they should have four distinct digits, and the digits should be in increasing order. So these are the four digits, suppose. So the first digit has to be 2 because it is lying between 2020 and 2400. So it should be something 2000. So it can only be 2. Next digit can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it has to be increasing. So it has to start from 3 and so on. But if you see the range, it can be 3, but it cannot be 4, because if it is 4, then the only digit with 2400 is 2 and 4 is 2400 in this range. But 2400, the digits are not in increasing order. Here the last digit is 0, which is less than 4. So it can only be 3 to be in this range and to satisfy the increasing order formula. Then so there is only one way. So this is fixed, this is fixed, this is also fixed, and the last two digits we can choose. The last two digits can be any of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So as per the increasing order restriction, so greater than 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these 6 numbers we have to pick 2 digits. So if you know permutations and combinations, then this is the number of ways of choosing 2 things out of 6. So 6c2, which is 6 factorial, sorry, yes, okay, 6 factorial by 4 factorial and 2 factorial. So n factorial by n minus r factorial and r factorial. So this will cancel out. So this will be 5 into 6 by 2, that is 15. So there are 15 ways of choosing 2 digits out of these. So then that will be the correct answer. And then after choosing the digits, you can arrange them in the increasing order. So 15 is one answer. Next, if you don't know permutations and combinations, you can think of it as this, that one by one you can choose one of these numbers. So suppose you pick the third digit as 4, then the fourth digit can be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 5 ways. 5 ways. Then if you pick the third digit as 5, then it has to be greater than 5. So it cannot be 4 or it cannot be 5. It has to be 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 4 ways. Now similarly, if you pick the third digit as 6, there are 3 ways, 7, 8, 9. If you pick the third digit as 7, there are 2 ways. It can only be 8 and 9. And if you pick the third digit as 8, there is only one way. You have to pick the fourth digit as 9. You cannot pick the third digit as 9 because then the fourth digit has to be greater than 9, but there is no digit greater than 9. So these are the number of ways: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is 1. So if you sum it up, then it will be 15. So there are total 15 integers you can find between this range, which satisfies the increasing order and distinct digits rule. So the correct answer is 15, that is C. So C, 15 is the correct answer. So you can have a look at the solution once, and then we can move to the next question. Okay, now if you are fine with the solution, let us move to the next question. So this is the next question. Let me read the question out, then you can attempt for it in the chat. The question is that Ricardo has 2020 coins, some pennies, and the rest are nickels. So there are 1 cent coins and there are 5 cent coins. He has at least one of each. What is the difference in cents between the greatest and the least possible amounts of money Ricardo can have? So we have to find out what is the difference between the largest amount he can have and the smallest amount he can have. And the restrictions are that he has 2020 coins in total, and he has at least one of the 1 cent coins and at least some 5 cent coins. And you have to find the combinations to find what is the greatest amount he can have and what is the lowest amount he can have, and the difference between. And the options are 8062, 8068, 8072, 8076, and 808. And this is in cents, so the difference in the amounts. So you can think about the question and try to solve it. If you get some answers, you can write it in the chat and we'll see if that is correct, and then we'll solve the question and find the correct answer. So good luck with it. Okay, so now let us solve this question. So we are given that Ricardo has 2020 coins in total. So 2020 is the total number of coins. Okay. Now some of them are 1 cent, some of them are 5 cent. That is pennies and nickels. Now how to find out that what is the maximum amount he can have and what is the minimum amount he can have, and then we'll find out the difference. So when will he have the maximum amount? That will be possible when he has all 5 cent coins, but the requirement is that he has to have a minimum of some 1 cent coins and some 5 cent coins. So you can keep one 1 cent coin and rest of them can be 5 cent coins, so that will be maximizing the amount he has. So then that case will be 2019 5 cent coins. So this is the maximum amount he can have, and since he is required to have some 1 cent coins, so we can have one 1 cent coin. So then let us calculate the amount. So the maximum amount will be 2019 multiplied by 5, this many cents, plus 1 into 1, that is 1 cent. So this will be 2019 into 5, that will be 10,095 plus 1. So 10,096 cents is the maximum amount he can have if he has 2019 5-cent coins and only one 1-cent coin. Now the minimum he can have is if he has all 1-cent coins, but since he has to have minimum of one 5-cent coin, so let us give him one 5-cent coin and 2019 1-cent coins. So minimum, this is the max. The minimum will be 2019 1-cent coins, $1 plus a single 5-cent coin. Then that means that you will have 2019 into 1, that is 2019 itself, plus one 5-cent coin, so that will be 5 cents amount. So this will be 2024 cents in total. This is the amount he can have minimum. So now let us find out the difference. So the required difference that we are told to find will be 10,096 minus 2024 cents. So this will be 8,000. This 96 minus 24, that will be 72. So this is the required difference, 8,072. So then our correct answer becomes option C, 8,072. So this is the correct answer. Now let us go to the next question. So next we have this question where Akash's birthday cake is a 4 into 4 into 4 inch cube, iced on top and all four sides, side faces, not the bottom. So it is iced on the top and all the four side faces out of the 6 faces of the cube, and the cake is cut into 64 unit cubes of 1 cubic inch each. So 1 inch 1 inch 1 inch, that is makes 1 cubic inch. So it is cut into 64 unit cubes equally. How many small pieces have icing on exactly two sides? So initially we applied the icing on all the four sides and the top. So then after cutting the cube into 64 unit cubes, how many of them will have icing on exactly two sides? So they will all be cubes of 6 sides. So how many of them will have icing on two sides? So just a hint that you can find the number of cubes that lie on both faces, one out of which one has to be out of which they can be either the top or the four sides. So we have to find such cubes which lie on exactly two, whose faces coincide with exactly two of these faces, not the bottom, excluding the bottom, 2 out of 5. So that is what you have to find, and the options are 12, 16, 18, 20, and 24. So you can take your attempts, and then if that is correct, we'll have you on the leaderboard. Otherwise, anyway, we'll do the solution and find out the correct answer. So let us try to solve this question. This is a very tricky question and a difficult one. You have to visualize this cube. So we're given this cake, which is like a cube. Erase this part. Okay, so this is like a cube. This is the side face. This one is one side face. This one is the second one. Let us write that down. Two. We have one here. We have two here. We have three. This one, and then four the behind one, and the five is the top one, and six is the bottom face. So six faces in total, and then each of them is of 4 inches, and then it is divided into 1-inch cubes. So one face will look like this after dividing. So each one is 1 inch, and there are 64 such cubes, 1 into 1 into 1. Now here we are told that the bottom face is not iced, everything else is iced. So we have to find how many cubes are there which have exactly 2 of their faces iced. So let us see. So the corner cube is shared among 3 faces. So every corner cube is shared between this one. So suppose this corner cube, this is shared between face number 1, face number 3, and the top one, face number 5. So all the corner cubes are shared between 3 faces. And if let us consider all the faces which are iced, so except the bottom, then in that case 3 faces of it will be iced, but we are given to find those cubes whose 2 faces are iced. If you look at the edge pieces, this one and this one, they will have 2 faces iced because one of their faces is exposed to one face of the cube and one of their other faces is exposed to the top. Or if they're shared between 2 sides, then one side and other side. So only 2 faces. So only 2 faces are shared with the outer cube. And then again corner is 3. So 2 is the correct one because except the bottom, every face will have this kind of a structure and where 2 faces will be iced. So these are the cubes we require. So again 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So in total, it will be uh, so in total it will be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 here 4, 4, 4, 4. So 16. So if we have to think it in a better way, then we can think of it as 2 cubes on each edge of the cube. So this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge, and this is an edge. So in each edge will have 2 such cubes here. So this one and this one on this edge. Similarly this one and this one on this edge. So 2 on each edge. And if we leave out the bottom one, there are such 4 1 2 3 4 and 5 6 7 8 8 such edges. So 2 on each edge. So that means there will be 16 such cubes which have 2 of their faces iced. Now for the bottom face there will be a separate one. So if this is the bottom face, the same thing applies, that the corners are shared between 3 faces and the middle edge cubes are shared between 2 faces. But here the trick is that the bottom face is not iced. So if even if this is there between 3 faces, one of them is the bottom one. So they are shared with the bottom face and two of the faces which are iced. So these corner ones are the ones we need for, this is only for the bottom face. So then there are four corner cubes like this. The middle ones won't count because here the two faces are shared, but one of them is the bottom face which is not iced. So only one of the face of the cubes will be iced. But you require two of them to ice. So corner cubes are the correct ones for this. So we have four such corner cubes. So that will be 4. So from all of the other faces we had 16, and here for the bottom face we had 4. So this will be 20 in total. So 20 is the correct answer. So that means that option D, 20, is the correct one for this question. Hope this was fine. Now we move to the last question, which is this one. Here the question is that Chara has 4 marbles, an Aggie, a bumblebee, a steely, and a tiger. She wants to display them in a row but does not want the steely and the tiger next to one another. In how many ways she can do this? So she has to arrange these four marbles, and one of the restriction is that the steely and the tiger are not next to each other. So in what are the number of ways to do this? So we can use some kind of a permutation or combination criteria to solve this. The options are option A 6, option B 8, option C 12, option D 18, and option E 24. So write your attempts in the chat. So let us try to solve this problem. So we're given four types of marbles: Aggie, Bumblebee, Steely, and Tiger. So that's represented by A for Aggie, B for Bumblebee, S for Steely, and T for Tiger. And the constant is that the four marbles are arranged in such a way that Steely and the Tiger are not next to one another. So one way of solving this is find out the total number of ways in which they can be arranged minus the number of ways in which S and T are together. Then that will give us the total number of ways in which S and T are not next to one another. And T, Steely and Tiger are together. So total number of ways of arranging these four will be 4 factorial, which is 24. Now if S and T are together, we can think of it as one single object. Then there will be three objects: ST, A and B. So three objects can be arranged in 3 factorial ways, that will be 6. But S and T can also be swapped between themselves in each of these 6 positions. So you have to multiply that by 2 because they can be swapped in 2 ways, either ST or T or S. So that will make the total number of ways as 12. Now there are 24 total ways and 12 ways in which S and T are together next to each other. So if we subtract that, we'll get 12. So these are the number of ways in which S and T are not next to each other and rest of them are arranged. So 12 is the correct answer, that is option C. So C, 12 is the correct one. So that brings us to the end of the quiz, and you can have a look at the option, the solutions of it. So if you see this video later, then you can go through it one by one, and then this is the answer key, so you can then check your answers against these options. So thank you very much for joining the stream. This is the leaderboard. Let me show that one. We have the leaderboard here. So very much congratulations to all of them and everyone who participated in the quiz. So everyone who attempted, so a big congratulations to all of them. So we'll have the streams in the future, and let me know in which are the topics or the questions you will like to have the quiz on. So then we can pick those topics which you would like to prefer. So I will create a poll and then you can give your opinions. So thank you very much for joining the stream, and do like the stream and subscribe, and see you in the next one.